Hello.
What's
up?
What's up? Good to see you.
What's up, man?
Welcome.
Hi, Shashank. Good to see you.
Welcome. After a very long time, we are all sitting together.
Yes.
And that too, for the first time, we're sitting in the same place,
Yes.
offline,
Yes.
and we're recording. And that too, in a great occasion.
Hmm.
1 year anniversary of Brew Your Market.
Wow. I just happened to know just like 10
Yeah, I
years
know.
back, but I'm sure that's a great milestone.
Yeah, I mean, like today's a day, like Jan 11th. Today is the day when we officially kicked off like our Instagram posts and everything.
Mm.
Right. So, I mean, I'm very excited. I can't wait.
So how much soon before the idea came and then you implemented?
That came
was
like 4 years back.
2019. Remember?
No. This both of you collaborating.
That's
then,
what 4 years back, I think.
So I actually started this in that this in digital marketing course 2019,
Yeah.
वहाँ पे Brew Your Market. Then when I
Actually,
started,
you made a page there only.
all these things were ready. Then what happened was I spoke to him when I started Sportskeeda. When I met him, I knew he designs and all. I was like, hey, why can you help me with templates and all, like for my Instagram page back in August 2019 something. Like, yeah, sure. He made some templates. He gave it to me. I never did anything uske baad. I like the templates. I was like, monotonous ho raha hai and bahut effort hai. मैं नहीं कर रहा. Then later we were like, okay, let's do it again. We'll rebrand the whole thing. Late 2019, September-ish, September, October. Again, we rebranded everything. We made it look great. Again, dead, nothing. Then last year, December, I was like,
Rebranded again.
no, yeah, we were like, hey, let's do. He was like, hey, you had this idea, no? Why don't we do this? I was like, yeah, okay, we'll do this. Yeah, fine, Jan, we'll start. And then we started in Jan.
So just for the record, I was the one who ultimately get that final key.
He like
And now it
pushed.
has been 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So what are your now all overall numbers across all platforms?
We are we took the whole 1 year to like set up everything. So we're at like some 2.6K in Instagram, 1.04K in this thing YouTube. We started YouTube September, and
No, that I know, of course. Like YouTube, I know the numbers. Instagram, I don't know.
Instagram is 2.6K.
And also for the record,
That's
YouTube
it.
is because of him.
Yeah, we only started YouTube because of him,
Yeah,
because he joined.
technically, yeah.
That
He joined
is
us and so we
I
were
was like, where we can get the money.
Yeah.
yeah.
We were doing something stupid. So you came in, okay, you guys are stupid. I know how to make money. Let me.
So
Hopefully,
perfect. So on that note, today's episode is going to be very interesting, and I want to talk to you about something that I've been following for years, but something that's new in India very recently, like Shark Tank. So I want to know about. We know the entrepreneurial buzz, startup buzz has been going on for a very long time, but let's discuss today about like how Shark Tank has revived that buzz again, like among the masses. It's become like more massy and at a scale. So what it's done, right? So first off, both of you, I'd like to ask you, like, what's your take on Shark Tank India, and what's your thoughts like of the first two seasons? There's a second season going on right now.
I think, see, if you just talk about startups, like the startup culture, it has been in India for a decade. It's only now the mass knows it because of, I think, Shark Tank.
Yeah.
A lot of people know how the process works. You know, what are those jargons that we'll talk about? You know, how the whole funding thing happen, how valuation happen, how you pitch to a client. Are there any other ways than bootstrapping, like how you can reach out to investors? It's not just angel, but you know, how series, you know, what's the process around? I think that Shark Tank has somehow managed to capture quite successfully across the masses. So like in my family, like, you know, my mom always knew that I work in a startup, but what's the phase like? They are much more aware.
Or what is even a startup, right?
Yeah, or what is an
Yeah.
startup?
just to chip in, I just have one question. So the startup you work in is right now unicorn. You're still calling it a startup.
Yeah.
Why?
See, a
And how?
startup is a startup till the time it either gets acquired. Acquired means you are dead now.
Yeah.
Or you go for an IPO.
Okay.
So till the time you either have not achieved any one of them, you are a startup.
But Zomato still calls itself a startup and shit, right?
Who calls it?
we
They
were
are
like,
not a
No one
startup
calls
anymore.
Zomato startup.
They are not a startup anymore.
Achha, okay. So
yeah.
the level is IPO to not be a
See,
startup.
that's why the VCs comes in, right? Because an idle VC stays there for 8 to 9 years. 8 to 9 years means 8 to 9 average around of funding, series of funding. And they want to exit after one point, right? And the exit mode is either again acquisition or being acquired somewhere or the IPO. That's the ultimate goal.
So Zomato is not a startup. Swiggy is a startup.
So you start.
So what's your take on the first two seasons of Shark Tank and its impact and everything? Like about what do you think? Like how's
Yeah,
it going?
it was good only, but the fact that like we all grew up watching Shark Tank, like Mark Cuban and all these people hosting to coming down to like Desi drama, that one I didn't like, but yeah. But still, see, what Pranay said was like, yeah, it's bringing startup culture to every single Indian household, and I think that's the most important part. Like, because youngsters nowadays, they want to build business, let it be creators or having their own businesses, even small businesses. Right now, this is giving the right push for the people. So it might be drama worthy, but Indians love drama. So it's not like everyone thinks it's drama and all. Like, yeah, people actually know that, and people are genuinely asking. Like, I had like my grandmother ask me, what is this? Oh, you work something like this, right? I told like, yeah, technically I do. So I was explaining and all this. He's like, yeah, this is very cool. There was nothing like this back in our days, and now we just have to do some random things.
Yeah. I was looking at this post by this entrepreneur Arjun Vaidya, and he was telling about like how his grandmother got interested. Again, his grandmother was also interested about this thing because of Shark Tank, and how she was taking a keen interest, and she was also telling him, okay, now she understands what he's doing.
A lot of stories, yeah. Even like, so these are the masses that we are talking about. Even people in the startup, in the startup world, you pick any guy who's in the startup, but of course it's not at the top level. You ask them how a valuation is calculated, they would not know the answer. They would not know. If I'm getting 10% of the equity, what's my take onto it, or what's the valuation? It's a very tricky question. So still, not many people are aware about. But these kind of episodes. Or
even I also learned everything that I know about these things because of Shark Tank US.
And that's true.
So what do you think about like this thing, the ways entrepreneurs and even sharks also have benefited because of the thing? Like, I know in the US, all these Mark Cuban has become Mark Cuban, and he's become so famous because of Shark Tank. And most of these people, Kevin Lurie, and all of these people, Barbara, all these people, they're all extremely famous because of Shark Tank. And now also in India, like, I mean, you take this Ashni Grover controversy that's happened because of the first thing, and all these guys have become like stars now. And you see Lenskart ad also with this thing with Karan Johar. The Piyush, he's there. He's there in it because he knows, like, people recognize him, right? So
I think, I've heard from them also, from their interviews, both from the US and from India. So they are not here for the money, right? Neither they have that intention of, okay, I'll give you the money, right? Because if you see, like Zerodha, if you talk about one of the most successful bootstrap startup company, they just recorded, just yesterday I read 2,000 something crores profit they are at. So if you see them, they have a separate altogether space wherein they have a portfolio of all the startups that come to him. They do their branding, they do their marketing, try to understand. So that's a motive when you are trying to invest somewhere. Now these guys, I've heard it on air, on record, like so many times from them. Their motive is for the fame. They are coming, okay, abhi maine bahut ukhad liya hai life mein. Like, I have done 2 unicorns, I've done this, I've done that. Now I want the fame around it, and that's what they're enjoying, I guess. So, right, Mark Cuban, you took the example. So these all, like, everyone I've heard, it's now the fame, and then the money and all then comes in. And of course, for the these guys who are asking for the money, right, these startups, they also see the kind of money they are asking. If you see the actual absolute amount, is nothing. To be honest, you can literally start some angel. You can ask your parents, friends, families, and kind of revenue they make.
Just take this money from Kickstarter only.
Correct.
So what do you think?
They can raise it themselves, or they are also coming for the promotional aspects to get that free marketing.
Exactly.
Which channel does it stream on?
Sony.
So that Sony will take care of the marketing, not them.
Bro, that's what I was saying. Like, I was reading about like how it's impacted, and like a lot of it has gone in fame, right? Especially for the brand, for the startups. Like, if there are, that D2C startup which got famous in like everywhere, they're talking about that person who would not get a deal.
Zipline.
The flat, this thing, it's that shoe wala thing. It's called Flat Heels or something, but it's a D2C startup. And that dude is an IIT graduate, everything. He, like this thing, Aman guy, he, Botala guy, he even told ki, like, you don't know what your 4 P's of marketing are. And he was a guest lecturer in all these places on marketing and everything. And he cried also, like, on this thing. And everybody wrote about him. And
this is season 2.
Yeah, season 2.
This is Indian drama. See, exactly Indian drama.
And he got a lot of people respected that.
People abusing, people crying.
See, that has to be there. Okay, Indian episode, that has to be there. See, how will your mom watch? He's crying. Poor guy, remember you? You were like this.
I'm gonna buy some underwear from you or some slippers from you because you cried on TV. I feel sorry for you.
So I mean, like people like that actually. Like he was being, they were all like, I am IIT graduate is crying. I'm like, bro, they're all humans at the end of the day. But still, like people appreciated that, and he got like that brand got like a lot of visibility, and most of the brands got
I'll tell
visibility.
you honestly.
He got the best out of whatever he did.
Yeah.
Understand from the company's perspective, like Sony,
Yeah.
right? They need viewership, right? They need TRPs. They literally direct you the script, right? Because if you will not cry, like why I'm pumping money on this, like he's a startup guy, he's come for money. Why I'm choosing you, like out of the 100 people, I need some TRP out of you.
Exactly.
Right? So I'll give you a narrative, I'll give you a script. You take up any episodes or reality shows.
You want that 1 crore
Big
funding,
Boss.
you take money from me.
Big Boss, the biggest.
Big Boss especially.
Indian Idol, right? You pick up anything. Why everything revolves around fights, emotions? Why these are there? Because people then love to watch
People love conflict.
and they also
People
want the
love
TRPs
conflict.
to go up.
Yeah.
So that will be the core thing. ठीक है, that this in a rare case, I don't want to be like too harsh. He would have cried.
It
But
might have
ideally,
been
they
true,
want that kind of
Yeah.
setup. See, now that we are talking about this, that clearly means they got successful. with
Yeah,
what
of
they
course.
wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And not just that, like, I mean, at least in the US, what I've heard is 50% of whatever value is given, whatever the deals are made, they don't go through the due diligence wala part.
yeah.
Because like later
See,
when
even in the
lawyers
start
and
now,
all,
they'll put this privacy policy. It's
Yeah.
like it'll end you vetting and all. They'll put
That's what-
everything there.
that's what they show in the thing that yeah, it's great and all, because I keep watching these old this thing Shark Tank wale videos. In the comments they write like what happened after this and after so many years. Some companies are doing well, some companies are dead, some companies have not passed the due diligence. Most of the companies have not passed the due diligence, right?
See, of course, even from the business point of view, like 5 people are sitting here. You just gave me a 2-minute pitch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you even
The
10
thing
rupees from
is-
my own
the
pocket
thing is-
unless I know about
Yeah.
your exact business.
Another thing is apparently, like, I mean, what I've heard, at least in the US Shark Tank, these pitches are like it shows to us it's 2 minutes, but it's actually 2 hours long,
correct.
and they condense it because, like, of course, nobody's going to like this
Yeah,
will give it in 2
120
minutes.
grand for
Yeah,
like
you
2 minutes
cannot.
of talk. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it is relatively short.
I would become a professional. Like I'll take classes and go get money from these people.
It still is relatively shorter though, even though it's 2 hours, but it's just one meeting.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you do understand the beauty of how you can pitch. That's when I first started watching Shark Tank. US
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the elevator
Yeah.
pitch.
How to pitch.
I
Yeah.
learned
You know
that
how you can
also
pitch.
exactly.
That
yeah.
was my zone of
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
So,
even like when you talk about your job or your business or something, like if you can pitch it in under 1 minute, everyone knows who you are.
Exactly. Elevator pitch.
Yeah, elevator pitch
Learning
kind of
the
a thing,
elevator
yeah.
pitch, right. So, talk to me about like the impact the show has had, and even the US show has had in. Let's talk about India only in terms of the 9 to 5 jobs people and students in that aspect.
See, I feel it's still season 1. See, the job of a season 1 is to create a buzz. The impact comes way later. Like people are talking, I think they are successful. So impact will happen when these business will become any one business will become a unicorn.
Yeah.
They will earn from 3 million to 30 million of profit, something like that. Then impact starts happening. So it will take time, but I think their objective right now is to create a buzz. People will know.
Because of the buzz, I heard, like I was reading up about this and I was researching in this, it was written that because of the buzz, a lot of these 9 to 5 jobs, people are thinking about like moonlighting, and some people are talking about, oh shit, yeah, let me start something of my own. Even students also are getting to learn more about these terms, these jargons, as you mentioned. They're more aware about these jargons. So they're also interested in like starting up. So a lot of that initial, like when startup phase happened in India, the buzz that was there, that is revived again. Like, do you feel that? Do you see that happening around you?
I don't know. Like, I'm not much into it, but I'll tell you because you also own a piece, right?
Yeah.
Of business that you want to do. Like, what I feel, my theory is, if you are because what I know is, like, if you're opening a business, you need to solve a problem, right? End of the day, you have picked up a problem, you found a problem, and you're trying to solve it.
Yeah.
If that's the goal, good, go ahead, right? But if making money is the goal, more often than not, you will not be successful.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel with startups and money that we hear, 40 millions, 250 million Series F, if that is the impact wherein you want to earn money, then sorry, you will fail. But yes, if you want to make a real change in the society, or you think you have found a problem and you want to solve it, if that's the goal, then please go ahead.
Got it. What do you think?
This is what I was trying to say. Even right now in India, they have a very vague term. Like anyone who's like under 25, they open a business. It's called startup. They're called entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
No, that's not the case. See, entrepreneurs and startups take some problem, try to come up with a creative solution. They try to invent a product in the market. See, small businesses, that's entirely different. You just become A, B, C, D, F. You just become another one in the guy. You don't do anything creative. You don't do anything new. Even if you're in the creative industry, just because I own a designing agency doesn't mean I'm a startup. It's been here for ages.
True.
I'm not doing anything new. I'm just making something better. That's all.
No, it's good you mentioned that because I was going to ask you about like how, what is the difference between a startup and a small business, right? Because a lot of people confuse that. Like, I mean, they start something and they be like, oh yeah, I'm running a startup, bro.
See, to put it in simple terms, business, you want to make money immediately. At least that's the goal. Immediately, if I put in 1,000 rupees today, at least in 1 or 2 months, I'll have to make some money out of it. Like at least 1,010 bucks. That's the goal. But in startup, you found a problem. You're trying to solve it. Eventually, you're going to get money from the people who are either solving it or from funding, and then scaling up, getting more customers, and that wala way. So that is differently. Like that money can come in like 10 years, 1 month, whatever that can be. But in business, plans. You have a product, you have a service, you go pitch, you sell, you make money. That's the difference between startup and business. But if you're planning to make immediate money from startup, you'll ultimately fail. Like as you said, you'll ultimately fail. It just blow up in your face.
Money, like you see the Swiggy also. You see it's not profitable yet, right? And they are like 16, 17 billion, right? Valuation. So it's not necessary you'll start being positive in terms of revenue. So But one thing. So since he said difference between business and startup, now you need to understand the difference between startup product and startup technology.
Okay,
right?
What do you mean?
Wherein, like if you see India startup, like right now where I feel if you see US startup, we are way behind. We shouldn't be even saying us a startup because any product that we make is out of a product. Whereas US, they work on technologies. So they are bringing out a new technology, like Dropbox is a technology. Right. Search engine is a technology. We are building our product based on their technology.
Yes, on that note only. So when Rand Roslansky, the CEO of LinkedIn, had come to India, we hosted this InMobi ka CEO. I forgot his name.
Indian.
Yeah, InMobi, Indian, like that CEO. I forgot his name. So we hosted him and quite a few other people. There was a panel with Ryan. Okay. So usme he was telling, that person was telling exact same thing. Because abhi tak we've had this culture where we are just say, oh yeah, Uber, oh yeah, Ola, right? Oh, DoorDash, Zomato, and things like that. It's just been a copy of the what's happening.
Just desi version of their startup. That's all.
Yeah, and that's something that he wants to change. Like, I mean, InMobi is basically advertising in this thing. I mean, I don't know if that's also a copy, but he's trying to change that. He sees that like in India, the potential here, because we are in the very nascent stage. And of course, it makes sense to copy and everything. But with the way things are changing, the way things are improving, and especially with shows like this, like Shark Tank and everything, do you think a change will happen, or people start thinking innovatively? Because, I mean, our population is also going like crazy, right?
So what do you think about the potential? I think we still need to back up. Our mindset is still like, a serviceable country wherein government sectors, these are given more prominence. Like someone doing a business is always seen with a skeptical eyes. Yes, once you start earning, that's when parents are like, chalo. Like, he's earning now do whatever you want.
Tab bhi, if you're in private, they will like, comment kar leta hai yaar.
So that kind of motivation is not enough to run a business setup altogether. So I think whole from the system, from the bottom, things needs to change. Government needs to be more involved in these kind of policies, and then from a product to a technological starter, like this Phone Pay, Bharat Pay, UPI. This is a technological thing where nowhere in the world people will adapt to it. And not just you see any edtech, they are also dependent on some technology like Google search, wherein there 50% of the revenue comes. What if tomorrow there is no Google search? Half of the revenue gone. So that's not a technological startup. So if I think more government policies, more people are motivated, more people are asked to do this as a course or whatever, that's when you grow up things. So I think yes, we are in the right direction, but like I said, we are still new, like a decade, 2 decades old max. So more time we give ourselves, I think
today
we are still in the right
this
path.
Post by this creator Aviral Bhatnagar. He was talking with Shark Tank again. He was telling that because of Shark Tank, how IITs, IIMs, and all have been mainstream, and doing science engineering has been mainstream. Being an entrepreneur will also become something more that parents and everyone will be comfortable with. So I want to talk about in that also. On that note, I wanted to ask you, how is like these Shark Tank and everything become easy? How is it going to become more mainstream and more comfortable for older people and like parents or everyone more comfortable with the idea that yeah, my son is running a startup and I'm okay with him doing that? Like, do you see this change happening, or do you see this thing happening already? Because you mentioned about your grandmother, and I also told about one story, and you were also mentioning something. So
see, essentially, there is this concept. Okay, if you see something on TV, it's okay with them. that is the not just Indian mindset. That is people's mindset. See, even you see in TV shows, they call this, if you, I would be more comforting if it would have come from the TV. So like vice versa, it would be more easier if it would have come from the TV. So something like that. See, once you get that on TV, essentially that means like, yeah, you are going in that direction.
Yeah.
And also building on your previous points, yeah, see, more people are trying to build businesses, trying to build startups, and eventually people will be okay with that. See, the reason why Shark Tanks and all this becomes mainstream, see, right now, let's assume like 1,000 people are working in the startup space.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, Shark Tank reaches the entire country. Let's say if 25,000 people are putting in ideas, like at least one will become the kind of technology startup that you're saying.
Yeah.
So ideas can come from anywhere. It's not just reserved for you, me, and Pranay. Ideas can come from anywhere. See, even this conversation right now, any random 3 dudes who are working in marketing, we can replicate us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The only thing is,
I mean, just to add on to his point, like if you follow the US Shark Tank, there are a lot of startup founders who come, those who have done patents for their product, for their design.
Yeah.
India, you won't.
Yeah, you don't see that.
Patenting, I don't think itna bada hai abhi
because they believe in the product that this will change the future in the technology. I don't remember the guy name who just came as a judge, who was once rejected by all 4.
I saw that too.
Yeah, I saw that too.
The door Ringa, right?
Ringa. It was bought by Amazon.
Amazon.
That's a technology he got into, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just a product. So, yeah.
So, I
he
mean,
essentially solved the age-old problem. Like, all these years, we had this problem. He solved it for the entire country.
Yeah, and at that time, people, I still remember that pitch, and people, all the sharks were like, this is not going to work. Like, I mean, why can't I just come out and like do something? All that. The
only guy who didn't say anything at that time was Mark Cuban. He was silent there. Okay, I don't.
He wanted to invest, no?
He wanted to invest. Mr. Wonderful didn't want to invest.
Mr. Wonderful wanted to invest, but the deal, but the numbers did not work. And okay, anyhow, this thing. The only thing is, with all these startups, like say we spoke about UPI, we spoke about PhonePe and everything, right? The only problem is all of these things, all of these companies, once they become like slightly big, they move out, right? Now I see this thing recently came across a news that PhonePe is coming back to India because of the 1 billion tax that they have to pay, and they were like, fuck no, we'll rather come back to India and we do this.
Bro, they are paying that 1 billion tax because they're coming into India.
No, but still, I mean, like, this thing, what I'm saying is, most of these companies want to go out of India, right? Because to save everything, they go to Dubai, they're going to Singapore and everything. So, if all of these companies become big and they move out of the country, how will the impact still be there? Like, so the government should be doing something, right? Or
so that's what I mean. It's an obvious answer. Government should be interfering in this.
Yeah.
Like the crypto, the recent example, right? When everyone knew we were talking about crypto, they got some policies which was not very favorable to the companies itself. So you would know. I'm forgetting what was the Indian crypto name.
I know WazirX.
No, not this is
the coin Matic.
These guys changed their headquarters to UAE, right?
Yeah.
So ये सब तो हो गए यार, मतलब थोड़ा drain तो हो गई, like so can't help.
So like 1 year back, we were trying to build this crypto business. Okay, like exactly we had this amazing NFT concept where we had this name, this God block kind of name. We did branding. We had like we close to funding and everything. So we were like that was the time when Indian government Nirmala Sitaraman was about to give the verdict on this kind of thing. So Nirmala Sitaraman straight out came away and say comes out and says, okay, you can call it currency or whatever the hell you want. For us, it's asset. Every every profit will be capped at 30%. Yeah. So everyone is like, okay. So the immediate answer was not to drop the project. Look at Singapore, Canada, Puerto Rico. Because I can get tax exemptions there.
Correct.
tax exemptions. And the money I bring in from that, it will be foreign remittance. So technically, I don't even have to pay taxes because I'm putting my service there. I'm working for that company. That will be a private limited owned by one dude there. Like V3 can just be directors. Just take all the money here. Problem solved. That was the plan initially. But founders, like all this, investors and everyone, they become hesitant because you're routing money away from the country and they're bringing back, and it's kind of money laundering. And apparently, if you think about it, it is money laundering. So they were like, we dropped the idea. See, the reason behind all these things is because one thing, I'm not a huge believer in crypto. No? That is a scam. That is a different concept. But the fact that, companies are moving out. We took credit. We are still taking credit for Sundar Pichai. Kamala Harris apparently. Okay, so India is a country which takes pride in, even if you're one quarter Indian, they'll take credit. So that's the kind of country we are in. So that's one thing. Okay, and one more thing is, when companies are moving out of India, we should feel sad that it's moving out of India. When Freshworks got listed in NASDAQ, we were celebrating. Indians were celebrating that a company from India is getting listed in NASDAQ. Hey, Ascos, you see, like he thinks that India is not a good enough market. That's why he's moving elsewhere. He feels like Indian government is letting him down. See, he's a Chennai born dude. He's from Tamil Nadu. He owns a football club in Tamil Nadu. He owns one of the ISL clubs. He's listing a startup in USA NASDAQ. See, that's a very sad moment for us. And when PhonePe is coming to India, is because one thing is one of this things is, like, government is stepping in. The apps that is owned by the foreign companies, like companies that are run in other countries, they can't lend money. They have a lot of financial restrictions. You can't have my data and everything. So that's why they want to move. So 1 billion, they impose tax on all these investors and things. PhonePe say, Fakir, I don't care, I'll pay everything. Long term, I'll make more money.
So we mentioned about the TRP and all the drama and everything going on, right? And you also mentioned ki ye to hona chahiye. So what do you think about this thing, like the show changing? Like, I mean, from how it should be, like just people coming, pitching and everything, to now all these emotional drama, all these like doglapan and all these things, and how it happened. And people are also like saying that like why this thing was that the show should not be in Sony Live, it should be in Star Plus and things like that.
Why does it matter? I don't know.
What are your thoughts? I want to know what are your thoughts.
See, from a neutral point of view, if as much as I know the TV industry in India, let's suppose Big Boss, the highest running reality TV show, 15 seasons, it has also pivoted, right? From what it was to what it is now. So you like 1 season and 2 seasons on the running, it is too early to say, what it should be or what it should do. Because
but then we already have like the
because they are also trying to understand what they want to show, like the fights, the dramas, the emotions. They also have to figure it out, how it's going to be.
But don't you think
for a fact there will be one product which is something liquid based, that founder will throw something in the face of one of the sharks, and that will happen. That time it will go to mainstream TV. Till then, it will only be stuck in OTT only. Okay?
In India, it can happen.
In India, it will happen. It will happen. I can bet money on this, it will happen.
No, but then don't you think, like, see, if it's a show about, like, say, investing and, like,
that should be there. That should be the packaging will be there, but uske aaspas, these all things will happen. In India, especially.
I think even in.
Have you seen an Indian Idol, American Idol ever? They stick to the point.
To the point.
You come, you sing, you're done, bye-bye, done. India की तरह नहीं है कि 10 years से यार struggling, whatever you are doing. यहाँ तो एकदम community based voting हो रही है. People from some.
तू चलेगा Bombay.
People from particular caste or community, they are taking number one. It's very different. It's very different. Of course, investing and startup, but around the packaging will be entirely different.
I think even in the US also initially, I remember like there was a lot of drama also involved, right? Like they used to show backstories of all the people. They used to show like how they came from, where they came from, and them talking about their family and everything, and then all those sob stories.
See, of course, authenticity and backstory is good. See, if you want TRP, you have to connect with the character, right? Like showing that some random dude talking about his startup for 2 minutes, you won't connect with him. If you know backstory, he's from a very poor background. His father was working here, his mother was working like this, so he struggled so much.
But I feel like something is a little bit of overacting is also going on with the.
See, without overacting, nothing can be done. See, you take Big Boss, right? So I don't know. This is the standard for all Big Boss. At least Big Boss in Tamil Nadu. I don't watch this crap Big Boss. Okay, it's probably the most disrespectful show ever. Okay, but still, I'll say like there's 24 hour surveillance in Hotstar where you can see people sleep. I don't know why they do that. Do they do that in all big bosses?
Yeah,
Or just in Tamil Nadu?
Yeah, everywhere.
See, right. So this will be the next level of Shark Tank. It moves to mainstream. We'll either will be like in OTT say we'll be able to see like the 2 hours pictures and all this entire full blog say this full blog and everything. See, that can be a very good model because you'll have to also package that. You'll have to also make sure people are watching that and actually learning that. And when you're talking about investing and everything, see, it's not just limited to OTT. See, the point is to get maximum reach as much as possible. I still watch TV. I still watch comedy shows. It's not like this. People just stopped watching TV. It's that they're using a TV to watch different channels. They're still sticking with TV. We're just using Apple TV, YouTube. Yeah. Nothing is changing. Just the same concept.
On that note, we have another episode coming out with 2 TVF, this thing was that script writers, and we'd speak about OTT, we speak about films and everything. So, I mean, viewers, like, stay tuned for that. But anyhow, like, I mean, so let's talk about, now let's take a complete shift, like, from all these Shark Tank and everything. And let's talk about, like, the investing in the startup space in general, like in India. So, what does a VC look at when they invest? Like, I mean, what are the things that a person, like, say, if a student or someone wants to, like, get into it, they have an idea or whatever, what are the things that they should look at in order to get a VC funding, according to you?
I don't think we're cut enough to give advice for VCs.
You've started a startup, you've almost got a VC funding. You just told him this thing.
See, we are not good enough to give advices to VC to what looks.
No, I'm not saying about VCs. I'm telling about a student who's having a startup, who has an idea, whatever.
What VCs look into.
What they look at in order for from these guys, what they expect from this guy.
I thought the other way around.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
I had a chance to be on a couple of investor meets and had a word. Yeah. So I can just give my 2 cents what I've found out, figured it out. They definitely look at, like, if they are coming in, especially the VCs, if they want to pump in the money, they look at if your product has a global level reach.
Okay.
If you are creating a product which can just not your state, just not India, if it can go global level, like where there is no limit to the numbers that you are putting, they will be in.
Okay.
Trust me. And then they put in the money on you.
So is that
like,
the
who
only
are you?
thing?
That they will put in the money. Yeah.
Is that the only
that is one of the
criteria?
Main
one main criteria.
If you're asking money, they expect money in return. So of course that is the main motivation.
Money in 10x in return.
See, if 10x, you need the money, their KPI is also to invest in money. I hope you know that. For all Tiger Globals and all, they have a target of 100 crores to invest. So yes, things have changed, things have moved, momentum has changed. They want to look at spending or investing their money. But yes, they are looking at a product, if you are pitching it to them, which has the capacity to go beyond your particular region or areas that you're targeting.
Got it.
Like if you're thinking, okay, I do, let's suppose I'll open a machinery setup which will have 40 crores of revenue. It's good revenue, but that doesn't have a global reach presence. So they might not be interested in that. If they are coming up with money pumping in, because 2, 3, 5 millions is just an average Series A picks up. 2 Series FGH, which is you are almost on an exit mode or about for IPO. You are on average take around 250, 300 millions. So you grow 10x. So there, and then the valuation is also 10x. Imagine 25 billion is 25,000 crore that you pitch to them to earn in a year. So that's the level they think when they are investing.
So again, the difference comes between a small business and a startup, right? Like, I mean, if you're if you just have like the machinery wala thing that you were mentioning, then you're essentially a small business. Yeah, you're making good money. That's good enough for you. Like even in
you see, even machinery, you can say, okay, my machinery will be used by tanks. So DRDO is my client, for example. Right. But then there is also a limit to that.
Exactly.
Like how many tanks?
Exactly.
Like how many countries?
Exactly.
But then if you're talking mass level, on scale level, on changing the behavior level, that's what they are basically looking at.
I think even Shark Tank also, like, I mean, the US one, which I've been watching, everything they are like, they at a point when they're like, they're making good money, they're like, you're making good money and it's good enough for you. But an investor cannot come in.
Exactly.
Much money out of it, right? So it's all about that.
Even though it's cash flow positive, it's not scalable to after some extent.
So, okay, now let's talk about, like, say, okay, a person is interested, a person has got a VC who's interested in everything. So what does one have to do in terms of due diligence and everything, in terms when they're moving to funding? Like,
first, get a lawyer. Don't do anything stupid. Don't act like you know all the penal code.
Yeah.
Get a lawyer.
Yeah.
Personal experience. Get a lawyer.
Correct.
That's
That
the
I
first thing.
also have from my legal team.
Yeah.
Get a lawyer. So that's so.
Nothing. Don't worry about the money crap or not. Get a lawyer. That's the first thing you do. Whenever you are close to that, get a lawyer.
Anything else?
Can you just elaborate your question more?
Due diligence, like what do they have to do whenever they have, whenever they're going for funding or anything? Like, because there are a lot of things that they have to check, right? I mean, especially even when we're seeing in Shark Tank, we see that like
From the investor point of view, you're asking? Like what?
See, this might can be rephrased, not from the investor. Like even like say we are taking funding. What do essentially we look into when we are going to get money? See, it's not just about the money, right? See, money, anyone can give money. See, what does that particular investor bring in? What does he want? What does he want to change? Do like, say for example, I'm running a business that serves like underprivileged kids. Let's say for example, he's taking that, putting into rich kids, like taking that same course.
His vision is different.
Yeah, his vision is different. Yeah, we have to make sure that he sticks to the same point of view. So that's one thing that any startup founder has to look into. See, of course, there's going to be some sideways, but you can't change the product entirely.
Yeah.
Right, but it's up to the founder if he wants to change it. That's different. Like how Slack initially was started as a game like which ultimately failed. So he had this chat thing in this. So he thought, okay, why not? If no company has a messaging platform, I'll do that. Right now, Slack has 300 million revenue.
Damn cool. Yeah.
But this is just off the record mostly. Cut kar dena. Yeah, actually we did.
Okay.
So this whole investors now there is a mafia kind of thing, right around let's say in Indian investor ecosystem, because you've asked this question and adding to his point. So just like because I don't want to speak against me, I'll take some names maybe.
Okay.
So होता क्या है ना, तो ये लोग क्या करते हैं now, let's suppose you are doing some company and I'm we have a set of investors, those who are always same. So इनका ना 20-30 investors हैं. So let's suppose you have a product. I have become an angel investor and company investor A has pumped in some money. Now when you are at series A, your basic KPI should be growth, like how many people are using your product or have come in and installed basically. Then when I want to grow, I'll bring him in because he's my friend also. Your valuation will keep going up, and at exactly 150 to 300 million, I'll exit. We all will exit. We all have made money, and that's what is going on. Unless until you become a unicorn when global investors also come in, there that bullshit won't work. So ऐसा भी चलता है among investors to bring you to a certain point, merge it, exit, done, money kamaya, 50-60 million everyone.
See, ultimately in India, if there is any business, like it can involve anything, not just startups, any business, if there is more than 100 crores of revenue combined in that area, mafia will get found. That's how stuff gets happened in India. See, sometimes ganging up can be good, ganging up can be bad.
But because
that's the reality here.
Because I know, like let's suppose Kunal Shah, right, in this matter, or even our founders, they have invested 200 companies. They don't even know the portfolio. They have a separate team who knows like what they have invested. Kunal Shah I saw him on podcast also. You would have seen. So there is a famous joke about him where he, when these founders then come to him and talk to him, and he's like, "Oh wow, I like your idea. Can I invest in it?" And then the founders say, "Like Kunal, you have already invested."
That's why I'm coming and talking to you.
So imagine the kind of
talk to my admin.
So many companies they invest in. Obviously, they're not throwing around money. They are a businessman at the end of the day. If they have changed the rules and regulations of the whole system, they've changed the whole game altogether. So if I come in, I bring 10 investors, we raise the valuation, we are out. We'll see some other company. If it grows up, then it's there. That's how they do. Yeah, they are doing actually. That's how.
Amazing, man.
Ultimately, it's green or apparently Indian color money.
Okay, now let's again
we'll
come back. So, how does how should a founder pitch and negotiate? Like, what are some tips according to you? Like, I mean, pitching tips, negotiation tips, etc. What are some things that you have gotten from your experience, you've seen from your experience, and that you would like to give as well?
Yeah, I don't have experience, but I've heard like dialogues. So some of the dialogues I like, I can share that. But since you have pitched, so please go ahead.
It's always funny content works. Go ahead.
Because I have always put my hands in a lot of things. I believe this thing. I actually genuinely believe it. If you can explain your product in a 10-minute pitch to a 1-minute pitch. I think you have that clarity about what you want to sell.
Yeah.
So that thing is very important when you are pitching it to the
How do you do
investor.
that? I mean, like,
when you have
does
belief in
it-
the product. I think-
it only comes with clarity, or like,
yeah,
matlab,
what you are actually trying to solve. What we initially picked up. You find a problem. Like TVF, there's a picture they have released, right? उसमें एक बड़ा अच्छा dialogue है, very good dialogue they have. Like entrepreneurs have that in their blood. That when we were writing school exams and all, so everything comes like solve the following question. Answer this in 10 questions. So that from that time, you're used to as humans to solve a particular question, solve a particular problem, right? For that you're getting marks. So that's the same attitude entrepreneur brings in. So I think, yeah.
How do you sell it though? Like, I mean, like, what are your experience with selling it? Like, I mean, selling the idea, convincing the other person with the problem.
If you see from the investor point of view, they, more than the product, yes, they are investing, like we discussed, it should be a universal product that eventually can go everywhere. But they invest on the person also. So that's why you would see, I think just last quarter I read like 60-70% of the people are from IIMs or these top tier
Bain and all these what do you call these firms? BCG, Bain and all. Bain se hi. Like, I mean, if you see Zomato founder and all these people, most of the people are from Bain, like that consultancy firm, right?
So that's what they invest on the people. I think after the product, it's the person that they invest in.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What, do you have any tips that you'd like to share?
That. See, first of all, like whenever you're going to VC or something, like don't try to hide some funny business that you're doing. So always be open.
They'll smell it. Yeah,
they'll smell it. Like not today, not tomorrow, but they'll smell it for sure, and they'll come hard.
Yeah,
to do that. Okay, that's one thing. And be honest. Like tell them what this is, and make sure they know that. See, this can be very, very much cash positive. Okay, see, no one is going to give you money just because you have a cool idea. Cool ideas anyone can have. Today morning we have an idea like a valet app, right?
We were walking.
Yeah, we were
Bangalore
walking. We were trying hard to find parking. So I was thinking like, okay, there should be an app like this, like Uber, where I book valet parking. One guy comes, takes my car, parks it off, and then when again he'll come here. So this is a very cool idea, but how many people really want to use it? How many people really want to pay to use this?
Yeah,
that's because I have a cool idea doesn't mean that can get into funding, that can become an actual business. This might, I don't, because we done no research.
Now people already know about it. So I mean, like, somebody might do it.
It's not about having just a cool idea. It's about showing people that this can actually bring in money. If you're asking for money, if you're asking for something, they are expecting something in return. So make sure you show them that clearly. And see, once again, as Pranay said, it's about investing in the personality. There are people who can just turn out crap situation into amazing situation. We've seen what Deepinder Goyal does. See, Zomato is losing money left, right, center. They're acquiring businesses for no reason. They're rechanging their entire business model.
He's making people happy by going and delivering every now and then.
Yeah.
That's how he's coming. Like Zomato, this thing, founder delivers during New Year's Day. Wow.
Yeah. See, he's ultimately making sure this happens. See, Kunal Shah is losing money left, right and center on credit. But he's still getting funding because they believe in Kunal Shah more than credit.
Yeah.
That's something that you
and also he has connections with all the investors.
See,
also there.
See, once again, even to have that connection, you have to have that level of authenticity. Right? So, $1,000, $2,000, even to 1 crore to their level, I can give for free. Go do whatever you want, party. 400 crores, 500 crores, 50 million, 60 million, they can't just throw away. So you need to make sure. See, Kunal Shah is responsible. That startup phase, Kunal Shah is responsible. People are gonna come hard at him. So you have to make sure that you because you're putting your face there, so you have to make sure you're doing it properly. That's one thing.
Ajay, I want to ask one question from both of you. Like I just said, 60-70% of the startup founders or a unicorn, like whatever companies, 102, 3, 4, I don't know the exact number now.
Now it's 85, apparently due to
the valuation has come
down. Valuation has come down due to recession.
So from 104 to 85. So why only the top tier colleges, students are able to make it so much?
I read about, I don't know how much of it is true, but I read about this on like one of the LinkedIn posts. It says that like once like these guys, especially like these IIT, IIM people, they I read ki like they're at a point where they're like, acha kuch to kar hi lenge. I've reached till here. I've got like the score. It's not like I'm dumb. Like they've reached IIT, IIM, they've cracked IIMs, they've done so much. They've reached at a point like kuch to kar hi lunga main. Even if my idea doesn't work, कुछ ना कुछ करके I'll get into like some company or I'll at least whatever
tell
happens.
me
I'll
this
get into a
answer
company,
not
right?
from their perspective.
Yeah.
Tell me from an investor perspective. Why do I invest?
Again,
on-
even in Shark Tank US also, like I mean, when the person comes and say, "Oh, I'm from Columbia," or "Oh, I'm from Harvard,"
so why do they
everything.
tend to invest on him more?
Because of the, like I mean, say even in these big colleges also, the only reason why they pick up these big these people is because of their IQ, because of their like whatever knowledge. In India, yeah, it's rote learning or whatever. It could
Okay,
be.
let's take two examples then
That
on
right.
this case. One is Shashank,
Yeah.
and one is an IM, top tier. No, just confirming.
I am top here. What?
I am
Anna
any
University.
No,
So that's
tier,
also big.
tier 1.
Yeah.
It's a tier 1 college, I'm not sure.
Yeah, kind of. But I didn't get into the college that was known for, like, not for the person. Yeah, let's say I'm not.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's suppose he's not.
Yeah.
Right?
I am not. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
let's suppose this guy and there's another guy.
Hmm.
Okay, me, for example.
Hmm.
I'm from tier 1 college and he's not, right?
Hmm.
You're an investor.
Hmm.
He's equally as smart, equally as intelligent,
Mhm.
equally as everything.
Hmm.
So why you will just invest on me because of my batch, not on him?
That no. That's
so,
not the case.
Yeah.
No?
So
Like,
why
yeah.
why? But 85% of the time I'm winning
You're
the
more-
game. He's not.
I'll
You're
tell you
more-
the exact
you're more-
answer.
Like I mean, because I recognize IIT, IIM, and everything.
Hmm.
Because even if you see in any companies, no,
Hmm.
like if you see Suits for in general,
Hmm.
Suits made the company, the original company, they were only recruiting from Harvard.
Hmm.
They only wanted people from Harvard. They broke it when they got that dude.
My
Right. Yeah.
My gross.
They were only in Harvard because that's a prestige. It adds value because if whatever you say, even now, brand matters. You wear a Nike shoe, it's a Nike shoe. You
No,
wear
for
a normal
startups,
shoe,
I'm
it
saying,
does
like
not.
for them, it doesn't matter because they are a
It
proper.
does. Like, I mean, public perception, it does. I mean, public perception, if you say that my company has only IIT graduates, only people who are working are everyone from IIT, that adds, people will be like, oh, acha, my company has people who are equally good coders, but are not from IIT. But if you have that IIT tag, that will add more, the perception will be better, no? Because it'll be like, acha, IIT, it's still glorified because it has a brand. Right.
Glorified to the company, right? But not
To
to
the-
your balance sheet.
Yeah,
Mother, you
it's
should-
not. It's not your
Because
balance sheet.
if you see all
See,
your
simple answer. Humans are hypocrite fuckers.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. See, let's take once again. See, a simple. Let's take a not go to startup level. Let's take one simple thing. You see a tea stall there doesn't have a good board. You look at another tea stall, like say for example, Chai Wala. What is?
Chai Point.
Yeah, Chai Point. Both sell it at
Crappy
25
tea,
rupees.
but good branding.
Yeah.
You'll be like, acha, Chai Point
Acha.
chalte hai.
Right. See, it's
Right.
all good branding.
Yeah.
That's all. See, being in marketing, we all know that. See, we can sell crap product with good marketing.
Package it
Even
well.
yeah, package it well. See, I worked in the packaging industry. I've done packaging for a few of. See, I'll tell you this exact story. See, I won't say the company name, but there is this one company apparently in India that exports this to the United Kingdom and United States for Indians who are there. What they do is they make little biscuit kind of shapes of cow dung, and they take all these puja sets, like they make into one box. They export it for $1,000 one. 1 month of puja kind of thing to bring goodwill from the from this country to theirs. They're exporting that. Their production cost entirely, including that box, cost them around 120 rupees. They're selling that for 1,000 rupees plus transports. See, you can package anything.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, marketing just fools you.
Yeah.
Marketing
That's
just
true.
fools you. See, that simple as that. And one more thing. See, once again, I am a firm believer in this. Okay,
Yeah.
garbage in, garbage out.
Hmm.
Right. See, let's assume I am from a tier 2 city. So what I know is like people, I'm not saying people from tier 2 city are stupid. I'm just saying that you'll have more exposure to, people who are actually in your space.
Yeah.
You'll have more support if something goes sideways. When I won't have a lot of support from my city if it's from my college when it happens, right?
Hmm.
And one more thing, when you come from Harvard, you obviously know a lot of things. Getting into Harvard itself is a very big competition. When you're brave enough to quit Harvard, drop out from Harvard, say no to Harvard, and do something that shows that you're capable of doing shit. You want to do something. You have that fire, right? When I'm coming from a second tier city and third tier city, what will happen like if it goes sideways? See, there's a very likely chance if a Harvard, someone from Harvard comes in, startup fucks up. They own like 100 crores money. He has to pay him. There's a very likely chance Harvard and students, alumni will come in and put in that money and bail this dude out than someone from my country or my city coming and doing it.
College, yeah.
Right. My college coming and doing it. See, this is the brand name. See, everything associated with branding.
Yeah.
And people are hypocrite. It doesn't matter about the idea. It's about how you package it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a real example, personal story. What I feel, like why they are just one step ahead of us. So there have been, these fresh IIM graduates who have reported me also, and I am nowhere, like not even a, like your college might have been, but I had zero college that I went to, right? Nowhere. But what I found it over the time, that my passion for as a marketer for digital marketing grew so much that, when an IIM guy is kind of reporting, which is called college that you have cracking. So what, I found out from personal experience in them, like if you see smartness, if you see interpersonal skills, if you see your presentation, personality, everything I feel like I want inside. But why did I not happen to crack the system of IIM? I feel sheer hard work.
Yeah.
Like the hard work that they put in. Yeah. The 12 to 14 hours that I can do. Yeah. I'm still struggling. I'm still trying to find out. Still trying to manage my way out.
I can just see it in your face now.
Because they are able, because the system is such in India. Yeah. You are made to study 10, 12 hours. Right? Yeah. In your college, then MBA is another headache. So I think you get used to the system so much. आप इतना पढ़ लेते हो that even if there is a problem, the only way to resolve it is hard work. Like, if it takes 6 hours, I'll put 16 hours, but I'll solve it. So I think that is a major difference. I'm still, learning that how I can put in more effort in a smart way. I'm not saying I'll put in the number of hours, but it comes by default to them. Like, they are sitting 12 till 14 hours solving a problem, doing it. Yeah. And when you invest so much time, be it a basic Excel, how to do it, you get so much expertise in that. That's when you start playing with things around tools, around thinking that makes you much more a valuable asset in a company than just being smart in other aspects. True. I think that what's differentiate an IIM person, because they have been used to working so much hard work. Even if like companies like fucked up saying, "Arey loss pe, we need to pivot, we need to change the whole product," it ho jayega. Because they can put in that work, and because of that work, they will get ideas. And like from my experience, what I've felt.
Perfect. So I feel like now Pranay asked this question, who made a fool of us. No, he wanted to answer, and he's showing up.
No, I said because
I'm as smart as I am, graduate. Don't rule me out.
No, because wanted to know this, because since 85% of the people are from IIMs, and I completely agree on this point. Like marketing does fool you. Like an average guy, if he has made to the top, he has more product value than the guy who's an IIM and has reached there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Now, coming back, okay, now let's do one thing. I have this fun system now, this question. So we'll demystify startup terms. Okay? So wherein like I'll just take a term and any one of you can just answer what it is and like just explain what, if it's an abbreviation, expand it and then just explain what it is. Okay? What is EBITDA? Let's start with that.
Pass.
I say it's not EBITDA, it's EBITDA, like it's TDA.
Okay,
so
got you.
So it's income before earnings before income tax, depreciation, amortization.
Okay,
so that's the full form. So basically, what you said in a one-liner?
Gross income.
That's it. Your net profit should be above all your expenditures. That's it. Okay. I mean, there are a lot of formulas. People like total number of shares divided by the percentage of the shares. Like there are a lot of things that you do. A lot of depreciation, interest also. A lot of capital interest also comes onto it, which you have to negate. It's a lot of technical terms, but mota, how much you are spending? Are you getting up and above that? So earning before income tax, depreciation, amortization.
Perfect. Now what's valuation? Why don't you answer that?
Hey, don't call it. Simple. In simple terms, I think if you want to understand valuation is how much your company can earn in that particular annual year. That basically sums up your valuation.
Okay. So if made up money. Made up money.
Yeah. So right now, if I'm doing 250 crores, I say, okay, I think with this technological change, with COVID coming in, with this and that, I think I can reach to 1,000 crores. You automatically become a $1 billion company. You don't need to necessarily be there, but just the vision, just the idea.
Yeah. And sometimes valuation also plays in when you are like, say for example, you have a business and running it. Like someone comes in and gives you like 10 crores for 10% of the company, you're essentially valued at 100 crores.
That is
also like basic amount of valuation. That's also there. Like
another thing
if someone is paying someone
reaches certain valuation, automatically Swiggy also reach somewhere close to that.
That is different. That is market share and all you're talking about.
That is different. So this is basic value.
Like Credit picked up an example, right? Credit is 6 billion.
Their earning is
not even 6 million.
Yeah.
So how they are 6 billion? Right?
Till date, Amazon is making losses. They are valued like one of the most top 10 companies in the world. Till date,
they beat AWS. That's why they survived the ship.
Yeah.
What about ROI? What's ROI?
Return on investment. How much your money put in? Like, say for example, if I put in 10 rupees, I get in 100 rupees in return. So the ROI is 10%, right?
Yeah.
But this technically doesn't involve the ad spends in ROI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when ad spends comes in, it becomes RR, which is run rate.
Okay.
So that's a different term. But yeah, overall
simple.
How much you're pumping in the money versus how much you're getting out.
I know life skills, he knows books. That's all. I don't know any fancy ass terms, I just know what it is.
Yeah. It was B2B and B2C.
Oh, that's simple. I think it's H to H now, humans to humans.
Oh.
There's no B2B and B2C.
Okay.
To survive.
See, this is how people in startup talk. Like everything is Zen mode. You can't say anything out of the playbook.
What's bootstrapping?
By the way, did we answer this?
B2B is business to consumers.
No, B2B.
Sorry, B2B is business to business, where you make a product or service, sell it to other business. So essentially, like Slack, I'm making an app. So it's essentially I'm selling this to another business who can use that to develop their own business. So B2C is directly business to consumer, right?
Yeah. Okay. Now, what's bootstrapping?
So you have an idea, you work your ass off to build the company instead of going and running behind VC money.
Okay. So you
Simple
put in the
terms.
money.
You put in the money back.
See, mostly bootstrapping right now, the perception is that you don't have to put in money. You just do the work, money will follow. See, because a lot of these companies and startups are, talked around like code. If you're a coder, you're a developer, you can put in the man-hours, you can build the product yourself, your MVP or whatever there is, like build the final product, ship it out. Like, say for example, AWS will cost you only when users come in. So your domain name will probably, like, even with $100 investment, you can launch a product and then, then we can think about money. So this is basically bootstrapping. So one perfect example is Zerodha.
And us.
Yeah. And us.
Once again, we are not startups. Once again,
I'm talking about bootstrap.
Yeah, bootstrapping, but we're not startups. Business can also bootstrap, but
we are content creators.
Apparently, content creators are also right now startup founders.
Yeah.
Because content is a product.
Yeah. What's burn rate?
Burn rate is also known as churn rate.
Okay.
So basically, it doesn't depend whether you are going positive or negative. It just depends how much you are pumping in the money.
And since you mentioned about positive, like what do you mean by cash flow positive?
1 minute, like building on the burn rate, like how much money, like basically a fanciest number, how much you're spending.
How much you're spending on different properties.
You tell the definition and dumb it down.
And what do you mean by cash flow positive?
Okay, first we need to understand what cash flow is. Cash flow can be from any intellectual property. It can be from a founder. It can be from your own, monetization platforms. It can be from your own, you cut down. Let's suppose he had 20 lakh ESOPs. He's fired. That 20 lakh is now a cash flow because that can be used to someone else, right? Positive means that it is coming from a, okay. So let example, a company has 3 verticals, right? Tell me a product which has 3 verticals. Okay, Swiggy. Swiggy has Instamart, Swiggy has grocery, and Swiggy has food delivery, for example. Now, all these 3 have different P&L accounts, right? Now, Instamart will be taken as separate P&L, like their profit and loss.
P&L accounts means profit and loss accounts.
So, they will be taken. Yes, they all come under Swiggy. But anything wherein you're pumping them, you're getting positive, that's a positive cash flow you're getting.
Perfect. Okay. And how would you define early adopters?
So you have a product or something, like a service or product or something, like let's say tech based. This happens mostly in tech industry. Where, people initially, when you're just bootstrapping or just getting the first 1,000 customers, are usually called the early customers.
And they have a very high risk appetite.
Yeah.
These users usually, like for example, if you're launching an Apple tomorrow shoes, right? Not everyone will be interested to buy it. But what happens? Now, this is a graph across, like this is a risk adopters also, you can say, early adopters.
Early adopters.
So, any new technology or service when it comes up, it's only the initial 5% who only want to try. Then based on their feedback, the next 80% try. And the rest 15, they never try. So basically your mass audience waits for the initial adopters, early adopters to try and experience the product and give feedback.
See, even if you take this in real life, we all try out a lot of tools, but we only stick with tools once we know. See, we stuck with Notion only after I know that Notion got funding. Till then, we were just using Notion just as something like we used to have that, but we don't put in a lot of effort to that product because what happens if it dies?
Yeah.
Right. We always have that issue because we are humans. Business tends
Where does our data go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Now, before we end, last question. What is one tip that they'd like to give, that they'd like to share to students who are starting up? You guys, sorry, they I read.
Cut दोबारा बोल ले.
Okay. What's
I like investor.
what's one tip that you'd like to
ये
share?
इसकी ना energy down हो गई.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Is it?
What's one tip that you'd like
so
to
what do you think about Vita?
I'm so tired. My back is shaking.
The cash flow, bro.
What's one tip that you'd like to share to students who are starting up? Yeah.
Starting up in startup.
Startup. Who
Startups
wants
are like
startup?
working or building.
Yeah.
What job wise or like funding wise?
A startup. Who's
Don't
starting a
ask him
startup?
more questions. Just give him answers.
Who's starting a startup?
See, I'll tell you. So, give advice to people or students who want to build a company or go and work in a startup.
Like I'm like
Yeah.
work in a startup, right?
Yeah. Or work in a startup. Okay. Either.
Maybe your startup shuts down. You don't get another job for the next 3 months. See, this will also happen in corporate, right? Let's say, for example, you work in a very good startup. Like 6 months, the startup fails. You have that, you worked in a failed startup, you were in this role, but apparently the next company will be like skeptical to hire you because, oh yeah, you are a part of a failed startup. Why should we hire you? So if you would have done your job right, you would have worked right. So what's the advice you would give to them? Let's say just startup founders who want to become startup founders.
Yeah, and I have zero experience on this. Trust me.
Or people who want to get into startup. You talk about startup founders, you
Yeah,
talk about
you
startup.
talk about people who
want to
work
get into
work in
startup.
I think if again you want to learn in a short span of time, I think startup is the go-to place. That's it.
What's one tip? Like, I mean, if they want to join, what do they do? Like, what do they do?
Build a profile on LinkedIn. Simple as that. I don't think
It's not
we
tough.
should need. No.
It's not tough to get into startups. They are looking for resources who can come at cheap because they also are initially struggling with the initial startups I'm talking about, not the big startups. So yeah, it's very easy and it's not.
Be ready to
difficult, yeah.
work for cheap. That's the
Work
major
for
thing.
cheap.
Yeah.
No, the idea should not be money when you're working on startup. The idea should be how much I'm learning.
Yeah, learning.
So if that is your hunger to work, which is not usually the case in MNCs, wherein they have fixed setup processes and everything. If your KPI you're driven towards learning as much as possible, then startup is the place.
For founders. It's like, I think, just go, just prompting.
Yeah, done.
I don't want to talk, just answer.
Cut. Wrap up. Shoot that.
Yeah, we'll just finish on this one line.
Yeah.
So, founders, my advice for founders. So, basically, solutions are not not found in boardrooms. That's my simple answer. See, you might be any startup, you have to actually go do the shit yourself. You have to go talk to people or get to the field. Not essentially, I'm not asking you to come to road and all like.
Talk to your customers.
Yeah, talk to your customers. Go find out what is exactly happening, and you can't assume this is what people want. You have to know what people want. So you have to talk to them. You have to do all those things, and yeah, that's it basically. Solutions are not found in boardrooms.
Okay, perfect. On that note, we end our podcast, our anniversary podcast.
Yeah,
anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Big thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, we are doing this anniversary thing because you entered, or I would have run away from you now.
I'm just more like a silent guy. I think you guys work here.
See,
I just got once in 2 weeks. Like,
I just want
Rakshit, what's happening? Did you talk to Sasha? You're like, yeah, I'll get done.
I just want to make sure something is on record. Okay, see, even though we are working on, it's always good to have some push from behind, like someone like you, because see, even though I feel like I know marketing, whenever I talk to you guys, I feel like okay, I'm inadequate in marketing. Because see, just because I'm not saying this, you guys throw in technical terms, I don't understand. That's a different part. Even working with billion-dollar business and a unicorn, so you know way more than what I can know. So essentially, this is a learning process for me also.
For all
I'm
of us.
taking I am learning so much from Rakshit every single day.
This thing also, by these podcasts also, it's been so helpful for me. Like, I mean, speaking to all these people, speaking to these, and these conversations that we're having. If we were just outside and if we were doing this, I don't think we would have such in-depth conversation about these things. Right? We're having such in-depth intellectual conversations. We're getting to learn more. Even thinking about, like, you asked me that question, I randomly got suits wala angle. I was like, yeah, suits. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Like, getting like just brainstorming right while sitting over here, right? So I mean, that's the beauty of it. Like, I mean, I enjoy the whole process.
Same.
Basically, it's my way of letting out stuff. That's all.
Yeah, I personally feel you guys are very energetic. Like I am to like attracted towards your energy.
Hey, you just cut camera, you see my attitude towards everything. Like everything 100%
He was
negativity.
just sitting with his legs over there.
Yeah,
like
I was
that.
just sitting like this over like 5 minutes before it
No, but
started.
seriously, I'm only here for your energies. Because
Okay.
you have the drive, na, both of you. I'm like, yaar, aisa mere mein to ab my time has, passed. I'm like, chalo, let's go with the energies. That's why, like, in the 2 weeks, kya chal raha, Rakshit? Okay. Then I'm ghosted. I'm out.
Perfect, man. And don't forget to follow Brew Your Market for more updates. And if you're already, if you're watching it for till this far, and yeah,
I hope no one is watching it till this far.
maybe your mom's watching it. So stay tuned for the next podcast.